My 37F husband, 39M, went to a work dinner with a woman and was gone 5 hours, wasn't where he said he'd be, and wouldn't respond to my calls and texts. I kicked him out, and he says I'm overreacting. Can anyone help me make sense of what happened here? My husband of 6 years works in a field where sales reps invite him to upscale dinners to pitch their products. This year alone, he's attended over 40 of these dinners, which feels excessive. Meanwhile, I'm at home with our 3-year-old and 5-month-old, often exhausted because he doesn't help with night feedings. We've only had 4 nights out together all year. When I asked him to cut back, he refused, saying these dinners might lead to brand-sponsored speaking gigs, which have paid off in the past. Last week, he told me he had dinner plans with a female sales rep, just the 2 of them. Most dinners are group affairs, so this felt unusual. He said the restaurant was near her hotel. I raised an eyebrow, but he brushed it off. He left at 6:04 p.m., and by 9 p.m., I was overwhelmed with a crying baby and a restless toddler. I texted him asking when he'd be home, but he didn't respond. By 9:15 and 9:30, I called twice. Both went to voicemail. Frustrated, I called the restaurant, and the host told me no one matching his description had been there. I texted him at 10 p.m. saying not to come home. 15 minutes later, he sent an automated GPS text saying he'd be home by 10:20. I told him to go to his parents' house instead, but he came home anyway. When he arrived, he insisted they went to another restaurant across the street, claimed his phone was on silent, and said I was acting crazy. He accused me of making things up and said, "Your self-esteem isn't my problem." He slept at his parents' house that night and came back the next day for his things. Since then, he's doubled down, saying I'm blowing this out of proportion. But I feel his behavior, being unreachable, lying about the restaurant, and making hurtful comments, was disrespectful and shady. Am I justified in my anger, or is he right that I'm overreacting?